Walk down any grocery store aisle this month, and I promise you, without even trying, you are going to walk past at least 5 things that are designed, on purpose, by very smart marketing teams to separate you from your money for absolutely no good reason. Not because you're not smart. Because these products are engineered by people whose entire job is figuring out how to make a bad deal look like a good one. And this month specifically, August, sitting right at that weird transition between summer and back-to-school season, grocery stores lean into some of their sneakiest tricks of the entire year. I'm not here to make you feel bad about your cart. I'm here to make sure the next time you're standing in that aisle, you know exactly what's happening, and you walk out with your money still in your pocket instead of theirs. Today we're going through 14 grocery items that are pound for pound, dollar for dollar, some of the worst purchases you can make this time of year, and I'm going to tell you exactly why and exactly what to buy instead. Stick around, because number 8 is something practically every single household buys without a second thought, and it might be the biggest waste of money on this entire list. Let's get into it. Number 1, pre-cut watermelon in those little plastic containers. It's August, it's hot. And that little container of pre-cut watermelon cubes sitting right at the front of the produce section looks so convenient you barely think twice. Here's the math nobody's doing in that moment. A whole watermelon typically runs you somewhere in the range of $5 to $8 and gives you an enormous amount of fruit, often 10 to 15 cups worth once you cut it up. That same amount of fruit, purchased pre-cut in those small plastic tubs, can cost you 3, 4, sometimes 5 times as much per cup. Because you're not just paying for watermelon anymore. You're paying for someone else's labor, the plastic packaging, and the fact that it's sitting right at eye level where impulse buying happens. And here's the part that really stings. Pre-cut fruit starts losing nutritional value and flavor the moment it's cut, oxidizing faster than a fruit that's still in its natural protective rind. You're paying a premium for a product that's objectively lower quality than the whole fruit sitting 15 feet away in the same store. The fix is almost embarrassingly simple. Buy the whole watermelon, spend the 5 minutes cutting it yourself and put the extra money back in your pocket. If time truly is your bottleneck, cut the whole thing the moment you get home and store it in your own containers. Same convenience, fraction of the price. Number 2, single-serve snack packs, sold as a healthy or portion control solution. Walk through the snack aisle in August, right as back-to-school displays start going up, and you'll see entire end caps dedicated to little individually wrapped bags of crackers, chips, cookies, and pretzels, marketed heavily around the idea of portion control and grab-and-go convenience for lunchboxes. Here's what that convenience actually costs you. Buying the large family-size version of nearly any snack and portioning it yourself into reusable containers or simple sandwich bags routinely costs a fraction of what you'd pay for the pre-portioned version, sometimes as little as half the price for the exact same total amount of food. The portion control marketing angle is genuinely clever because it taps into something real. People do want help managing portions. But you don't need to pay a premium in plastic packaging and per unit markup to get that benefit. A kitchen scale, or even just eyeballing a handful into a small container, gives you the identical result for a fraction of the cost, and you generate significantly less plastic waste in the process. If convenience really matters to you, spend 15 minutes on a Sunday portioning out a week's worth of snacks from the big bag, and you'll have gotten all the portion control benefits without paying anyone else to do it for you. Number 3. Bottled iced coffee and specialty cold brew cans. August is peak iced coffee season, and grocery stores know it, which is exactly why you'll see entire refrigerated sections dedicated to bottled cold brews, canned lattes, and specialty iced coffee drinks, often priced somewhere between $3 and $6 for a single serving. Do that math against what you're actually paying per cup if you made cold brew at home, and it's not close. A bag of coarsely ground coffee, steeped overnight in cold water, produces multiple servings of genuinely excellent cold brew for what a single bottled version costs at the store. The premium you're paying for that bottled convenience is enormous, and it compounds fast if this is a daily habit. Someone buying 1 bottled cold brew a day for a month is easily spending well over $100 on something that would cost a small fraction of that made at home with basic equipment, literally just a pitcher, some coffee grounds, and a strainer or cheesecloth. If you genuinely love the convenience of grab and go, batch brewing a big pitcher once a week and keeping it in your own bottles in the fridge gets you the exact same convenience with almost none of the cost. Number 4. Flavored sparkling water in the limited edition summer flavors. Every August, sparkling water brands roll out limited time seasonal flavors, watermelon mint, peach, tropical whatever, packaged in bright, eye-catching cans designed to feel exciting and fresh. And here's the trick. These limited edition flavors are almost always priced at a noticeable premium over the exact same brand standard, year-round flavors, even though the actual production cost between a lemon-flavored can and a peach-flavored can is essentially identical. You're not paying for better sparkling water. You're paying for novelty and a sense of urgency, because limited edition packaging is specifically designed to make you think you need to buy it now before it disappears. The fix here is simple. If you love sparkling water, stick with the standard year-round flavors, which are almost always priced lower, and treat the seasonal specialty cans as an occasional treat rather than your default purchase if you buy them at all. The soda itself isn't doing anything different. The marketing around it is just working exactly as intended. Number 5. Pre-made trail mix and back-to-school snack bundles. As August rolls into that back-to-school stretch, grocery stores lean hard into pre-assembled trail mix bags and snack bundle boxes, marketed directly at parents who are stressed about packing lunches and looking for a quick solution. These bundles almost always carry a meaningful markup compared to buying the individual components separately. Nuts, dried fruit, pretzels, a few chocolate chips, and combining them yourself in bulk, buying raw ingredients separately in bulk bins or standard bags rather than pre-mixed novelty packaging, and mixing your own trail mix at home consistently costs significantly less per pound than the pre-made version, while also letting you control exactly what goes in it, avoiding fillers or excess sugar that a lot of pre-made mixes are padded with to cut ingredient costs. This is one of those situations where 15 minutes of your own time once produces enough trail mix to last well beyond what a single pre-made bag would give you, at a noticeably lower total cost. Number 6. Individually wrapped cheese slices marketed as premium. There's a specific category of cheese product that shows up heavily around late summer cookout season. Individually wrapped slices in fancy packaging, marketed with words like premium, artisan, or aged, priced significantly higher than a standard block of the same cheese type. Peel back the marketing language, and in a lot of cases you're looking at a very similar cheese, just repackaged into smaller individual portions with a nicer looking wrapper and a price tag to match, buying a block of cheese and slicing it yourself, using a simple cheese slicer or even just a knife. Get you the same product, often the exact same brand in a different package, for meaningfully less money per ounce. And a block keeps better in the fridge over time than a stack of individually wrapped slices that dry out just as fast once opened. Unless there's a genuine, specific quality difference you can verify by reading the actual ingredient list, and not just the marketing language on the front of the package, this is a category where the premium branding rarely reflects a real premium product. Number 7. Bottled salad dressing when you already have the basic ingredients at home. This one flies under the radar because it doesn't feel like a splurge purchase, it feels like a grocery staple. But a lot of bottled salad dressings are, at their core, extremely simple combinations of oil, vinegar, and a few seasonings, sold at a price that reflects far more than the actual cost of those ingredients. A basic vinaigrette, for example, is essentially oil, vinegar, a bit of mustard, salt, and pepper, and homemade versions cost pennies per serving, compared to a bottled version that can run several dollars for a similar amount. This doesn't mean every bottled dressing is a ripoff. Some genuinely complex ingredient-heavy dressings are harder to replicate well at home. But for the basic vinaigrette and Italian-style dressings that make up a huge chunk of grocery store dressing sales, making your own from ingredients you likely already have in your pantry is dramatically cheaper, and lets you control sugar and preservative content that a lot of bottled versions rely on for shelf stability. Number 8, and this is the big one I mentioned at the top, bottled water. Specifically the small single-serving bottles, bought regularly as a household default. Here's a number that tends to shock people when they actually sit down and calculate it. A case of small single-serving water bottles, purchased regularly as a household's primary drinking water source, adds up to an enormous ongoing cost over the course of a year, especially in the summer months when consumption goes way up. Compare that to the cost of tap water filtered through a basic pitcher or faucet filter, and the difference isn't small, it's dramatic, often amounting to hundreds of dollars a year for the exact same hydration. This is one of those purchases that feels harmless in the moment. A few dollars here, a few dollars there, which is exactly why it's so easy to underestimate its total cost over time. A one-time investment in a quality reusable water bottle and a basic filtration pitcher or faucet attachment pays for itself extremely quickly, often within the first month or two, when compared against a regular habit of buying bottled water. And in most municipalities, tap water is tested and regulated more rigorously and more frequently than bottled water is, so you're not even sacrificing quality for that savings in most cases. If convenience for on-the-go situations is the real driver, keeping a couple of reusable bottles filled and in the fridge ready to grab solves that exact same convenience problem without the ongoing cost. Number 9, pre-marinated meat, especially around late summer cookout season. August still has plenty of cookout weekends left in it, and grocery stores know exactly how to capitalize on that with pre-marinated chicken, steak, and ribs sitting in the meat case, priced at a noticeable premium over the same cut of meat sold plain. The marinade itself, when you actually look at the ingredient list, is often a fairly simple combination of oil, vinegar, or citrus, and common spices, things you likely already have in your kitchen. Buying the plain cut of meat and marinating it yourself, even with a quick 15-minute marinade rather than an elaborate overnight one, gets you a comparable or often better result, since you control exactly how much marinade coverage and flavor intensity you want for meaningfully less money per pound. This is another category where you're mostly paying for someone else's labor and a head start on the process, not for a fundamentally different or superior product. Number 10. Name brand spices in the small jars, especially common ones like garlic powder, cinnamon, and black pepper. This is one of the sneakiest markups in the entire grocery store, and almost nobody thinks about it because spices feel like a small purchase either way. But if you compare the price per ounce of a small name brand spice jar against the same spice bought in bulk bins, or from a store's own generic brand, or especially from international or specialty grocers that sell spices in bigger bags for a fraction of the price, the difference is enormous, sometimes multiple times the cost for the identical spice. Spices are one of those products where brand name genuinely does almost nothing for quality in most everyday cooking applications, since the vast majority of common spices go through very similar processing, regardless of which company's label ends up on the jar. Buying common spices like garlic powder, cinnamon, cumin, and black pepper from a bulk bin, an international grocery store, or a store's generic brand and simply refilling a reusable jar at home can cut your spice spending dramatically without any noticeable difference in your cooking. Number 11. Family-sized bags of chips or snacks that aren't actually a better deal. This one requires you to slow down and actually do a little math at the shelf, because grocery stores count on most people not bothering. A bag labeled family size or party size feels like it should automatically be the better value, but it isn't always. Sometimes the price per ounce on the giant bag is actually higher than buying 2 of the medium-sized bags instead, especially during a sale or promotion on the smaller size. The bigger packaging alone doesn't guarantee a better deal, it just feels like it should. The fix here is a habit more than a specific product to avoid. Actually glance at the unit price listed on the shelf tag, which almost every grocery store is required to display, usually in small print below the regular price. That unit price, typically shown per ounce or per unit, is the only number that tells you the true value comparison between different package sizes, and it takes about 3 seconds to check once you know to look for it. Making this a habit across your entire shopping trip, not just for chips, is genuinely one of the single most effective money-saving habits in the entire grocery store. Number 12. Individually portioned yogurt cups, especially the ones marketed toward kids with cartoon characters on the label. As back-to-school displays start filling the store in August, these little character-branded yogurt cups multiply fast, and they carry a significant markup compared to buying a large tub of plain or vanilla yogurt and portioning it out yourself into reusable containers. You're paying extra for licensed characters on the packaging and for someone else doing the portioning for you, not for a meaningfully different or better yogurt product, buying a large tub and portioning it into small reusable containers. Adding your own fruit, or a small drizzle of honey if you want extra flavor, costs a fraction of the price for the same total amount of yogurt and gives you far more control over added sugar content, which tends to be quite high in a lot of the character-branded kids versions specifically because sugar makes the product more immediately appealing to children. This swap alone, done consistently, adds up to real meaningful savings over the course of a school year. Number 13. Pre-shredded cheese. This one seems minor, but it's worth flagging because it's such a common, habitual purchase. Pre-shredded cheese typically costs more per pound than a block of the same cheese, and on top of the price difference, pre-shredded cheese is coated in a small amount of anti-caking agent to keep the shreds from clumping together in the bag, which some people find affects how well it melts compared to cheese shredded fresh from a block. Buying a block and shredding it yourself with a basic box grater takes maybe 2 extra minutes, costs noticeably less per pound, and in a lot of people's experience melts more smoothly for things like grilled cheese or pizza. It's a small habit change, but it's one of those things where the convenience being sold doesn't really justify the price gap once you actually compare it side by side. And number 14, closing us out. Novelty-flavored sunscreen and bug spray combos, often marketed heavily in August as back-to-school outdoor essentials. This is a very specific late summer trap. Combo products that promise sunscreen and bug repellent in one bottle, or scented, fun versions of these products aimed at kids, often carry a significant premium over buying a standard, well-reviewed sunscreen and a standard bug repellent separately. And in some cases, combining the 2 functions into a single product can actually mean each individual function, either the sun protection or the bug repellent, isn't quite as effective as a dedicated product would be, because formulating both functions to work well together in one bottle involves real trade-offs. Buying a straightforward, well-rated sunscreen and a straightforward insect repellent separately, applying sunscreen first and letting it absorb before applying repellent, which is actually the generally recommended order for effectiveness anyway, tends to cost less in total than the combo product while giving you full, undiluted effectiveness from both. So here's the thread running through every single item on this list. Almost none of these are about the actual ingredients or the actual product being bad. Watermelon is still watermelon. Cheese is still cheese. What you're paying that extra premium for, in nearly every single case, is convenience, packaging, marketing, and the fact that grocery stores know exactly how to position these products where your eye lands first and your guard is lowest. None of this means convenience is never worth paying for. Sometimes it genuinely is, and only you know what your time and your specific situation are actually worth. But the goal here isn't to make you feel guilty about your cart. It's to make sure that when you're standing in that aisle, reaching for the pre-cut, pre-portioned, specially packaged version of something, you're doing it because you've actually decided the convenience is worth the premium, not because clever packaging and shelf placement made the decision for you without you even noticing. If this video helped you spot something you didn't realize you were overpaying for, let me know in the comments which one surprised you the most. I read every single one, and it genuinely helps me figure out what to cover next. If you want more videos like this, breaking down exactly where grocery stores are quietly making extra money off of everyday shopping habits, hit subscribe and turn on notifications because there's a lot more of this coming. And if you know someone whose cart could use a little help this month, send this their way. It might save them real money before the next shopping trip. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.